Hunter's white moon. Sabrina posted a sonogram printout on Instagram. Caption: "Thank you, my darling little brother, for lending me a sperm when I felt most helpless. I finally get to have my own baby." I quietly tapped like, then commented underneath, "Congrats to you both." The second the comment went live, Hunter called, roaring, "I only lent her some sperm, stop blowing this out of proportion, okay?" I hung up without a word. Divorce time. Before we go on, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling us where you're listening. I rested a hand on the small swell of my belly, inhaled, and tried to apologize to the baby inside. "I'm sorry, I can't keep you." But the sentence cracked midway, my voice shaking with sobs. The baby had been meant as Hunter's birthday surprise, yet obviously he no longer needed it. 2 months along, a child I'd begged Hunter for forever. He never enjoyed sleeping with me, never liked kids, said they're born wild, noisy, exhausting. Lately I'd caught him scrolling new parent prep checklists and staying up to draft 2 spreadsheets, one for what a pregnant mom needs, one for what a newborn needs. I'd stupidly assumed he'd found out about my pregnancy and was over the moon. Seeing the lists were never for me. Hunter came home shockingly early, barely 8 p.m., he usually rolls in after midnight. He called my name, I lay in the bedroom and stayed silent, so he dropped it. Soon the shower hissed. When he finished he slipped into bed without turning on the light, curling against me so carefully my lower back tingled, his first ever spontaneous embrace. He buried his head in my neck, voice honeyed, "Babe, nothing happened between us. I only donated to help her fulfill a dream. Sabrina loves kids, I swear once she delivers I'm cutting all ties." I didn't answer, just lifted his hand off my waist and scooted away. My coolness sparked instant irritation. "I'm already groveling, what more do you want? Don't forget you said you didn't care about my past. You just wanted us to be happy. Stop acting like some jealous hag." I could have kept hiding it, but out of respect I told you, and this is how you react. Pathetic. He dumped every grievance on me, then slammed, "Think about how good I've been to you lately. You wanted a kid and I cooperated. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight." The door crashed shut. I laughed, at my train wreck marriage, at my own blindness. To him, apologizing was a gift of face, I had no right to refuse, or I became the jealous hag. He could treat me like dirt only because I'd played the devoted puppy. So yes, I brought every second of this on myself. By dawn Hunter was gone. I knew exactly where. These days he leaves early, returns late. His assistant Corey had rung me several times looking for him. Corey said he hadn't shown up at the office in days. Put 2 and 2 together, he must be babysitting Sabrina. I booked my slot online and took a cab to the clinic. The termination took 10 minutes, then I was wheeled out. While paying the bill I ran straight into Hunter. He had an arm around Sabrina's shoulders, frowning. "You following us?" I ignored him and looked at Sabrina, she averted her eyes, then playfully tugged Hunter's ear. "Watch your mouth, Serena wouldn't stalk us. We've got nothing to hide, she understands." With one slick sentence she lobbed the ball into my court. I smiled. Right, why would I tell a married couple at their prenatal visit? My bluntness enraged Hunter, he shoved me. "What's that supposed to mean? I only see Sabrina as a big sis." Fresh from surgery, I was paper weak. The push flung me to the floor, a stab of pain ripping through my pelvis. Sabrina crouched to help, scolding Hunter, but her grin screamed triumph. I shoved her away and tried to stand by the wall. She promptly plunked herself down, clutching her belly, shrieking that it hurt. Hunter hauled her up, roaring at me, "If anything happens to Sabrina, I'll make you pay." Cold sweat drenched me as I watched my husband abandon on me for another woman. I only felt more certain, giving up this baby was right. A man who can't love his wife will never love her child. Back home, phone in hand, I opened Instagram, only to see Sabrina's new post, "Hunter's back," captioned, "With a man who loves me like this, I feel so safe." Below, Hunter's buddies chimed, "Quinn, that back doesn't look like your hubby, lol. Miles, way to win the goddess back, bro. Derek, got it, so he's the donor. Congrats, congrats." Within a second Hunter commented, "Cut the crap. I'm just helping out. You clowns want to see your sis-in-law divorce me?" The guys instantly replied in unison, loud and clear, "Bro." But Quinn added, "Scared of what? Who needs a petty woman, just divorce her. You've never gotten over Sabrina, everyone knows. Follow your heart, man." Quinn, Hunter's childhood wingman, can't stand me, claims I'm uglier, less feminine, less understanding than Sabrina. In his eyes I lose on every count. For Hunter's sake I'd swallowed it, but the marriage is ashes, I owe no one manners. I fired back, almost divorced, Thanks for worrying about Hunter all these years. Then I opened my own page and uploaded 2 images, my positive pregnancy test, my post-op receipt. Caption, finally free. Seconds later my post blew up with likes and comments. Not one from Hunter's crew, they pretended to be blind, though I bet they speed-dialed Hunter to celebrate. Soon my phone rang off the hook. My parents, Hunter himself, I let it ring, texting mom and dad only, coming home today. We'll talk when I arrive. I finished packing and stepped outside just as Hunter pulled in. He stormed over the second he got out. Serena, what the hell, over a sperm donation you kill our kid? Why didn't you tell me you were pregnant? The barrage of questions sickened me, but I had no fight left. I walked past him and down the steps toward the gate. He seized my arm. Are you happy now? I told you I'll dump her after the birth, what else do you want, Fro? And me? His shameless words kept looping in my ears until I couldn't take it anymore. I swung my hand and slapped him hard. Don't wreck your pure relationship on my account. He was right, you should follow your heart. What do you want with a small-minded woman like me? You deserve someone generous. I've sent you the digital divorce papers. Remember to sign. I yanked free of his grip, yanked the door open, and walked out. Behind me came his impotent roar. Walk out and you'll regret it. Regret? I ought to thank him. His latest stunt finally cleared my head, without him I'll only live better. When I got home my parents pulled me aside, frantic. Why the divorce? Mom's eyes were red, she'd been crying. I told them Hunter had secretly fathered a child. Mom hugged me and sobbed. I warned you he was bad news. Dad was quiet a moment, then said, good riddance. My chin wobbled, I buried my face in Mom's shoulder and finally let the tears fall. They'd never liked Hunter, said his eyes held no love for me. But I'd chased him for 7 years, and when he finally agreed to date me I thought I'd won the world. Back then I refused to listen to anyone, convinced I could make him love me in time. Obviously I failed, and here we are, divorced. A forced melon really isn't sweet, a decade of youth taught me that. I waited and waited, but Hunter still hadn't signed. Only after I threatened court did he grudgingly text, I'll pick you up tomorrow. I'll bring Quinn and the guys to apologize. Stop this drama. I'm exhausted, Sabrina on one side, you on the other, choosing either feels wrong. I'm sorry. Try to understand. I said I'd see her less, but she's pregnant and needs care, and her husband's out of town. He kept claiming he didn't know whether to pick me or Sabrina, yet every action screamed Sabrina. On our wedding day he ditched me to comfort Sabrina after she fought with her husband. On our anniversary he ditched me because Sabrina was scared of thunder. On my birthday he celebrated Sabrina's promotion. Every holiday he bought 2 gifts, one for me, one for Sabrina, his ridiculous idea of fairness. I complained endlessly, he always said next time, then did it again. Complained too much and I was petty, small-minded. Thinking back, the happiest moment of our marriage was the proposal. He'd packed the day with surprises on a glacier in Starfall, 4,000 meters up, the starlight so close you could almost touch it. Under that sky he slipped the sparkling ring on my finger, eyes fervent, vows burning. It was the one time he was all in, the ceremony he'd planned for months, just the 2 of us under the constellations. When I didn't reply he called. Serena, I've booked a restaurant. We'll all say sorry. Quit the drama. I answered coolly, is Sabrina coming? Yes. Fine. Pick me up tomorrow. If you want to apologize, why only to me? When Hunter pulled up, Sabrina was in the passenger seat. She gave me a guilty smile. Sorry, Serena, carsick, have to ride up front. I smiled back. No problem. Old me would have fumed, new me doesn't care what stunts they pull. Interesting thing, in Hunter's car the passenger seat is always hers. In anyone else's, her carsickness disappears. At the restaurant Hunter's friends were already seated, waiting for the 3 of us. He came over first, greeting me with a grin. Sit by me, Serena. I'll make it up to you proper. His tone carried zero apology, more like a threat. Once everyone was settled, Quinn poured me a glass, declared he'd punish himself, and knocked his back. Serena, I shoot my mouth off. Don't take it personal. Truth is, I look down on you, you're not good enough for my brother. But he still wants you, so today, for him, I apologize. He refilled, raised the glass again. One more for punishment. I was out of line that night. Sorry. Before the words finished, the rest of Hunter's buddies mumbled apologies. Hunter, sensing the air clear, jumped in. Let's eat. Sabrina stood, juice in hand. Serena, sore. RY Hunter cares too much about me and you got hurt. Hunter yanked her back down. You did nothing wrong. No need to apologize. Then he looked at me. I'm sorry. I mishandled everything. It's fine. There's someone else who'd like an apology from you too. The door swung open, a man in a tailored suit stepped in. Honey, what are you doing here? Sabrina blinked. I invited him, I said. You want to apologize? Tell her husband exactly what you've been doing behind his back. Serena, have you lost it? Hunter snarled. I ignored him, pulled the man to the couple. You two wanted to apologize, great. Sabrina's husband is here. Explain why you picked a friend as your sperm donor, your old flame, no less. Sabrina and Hunter went white. Grant's fists were clenched, rage vibrating. As Sabrina stammered an explanation, he cracked, slapping her hard. Lie to me, huh? Your fancy artificial insemination means screwing your first love? Hunter shoved Sabrina behind him, guilt written all over his face. Grant, my fault. I felt sorry for her. Hit me if you want, just don't hurt Sabrina. Grant gave a harsh laugh. You slept with her for years and expect me to raise your kid? Hunter backpedaled. Grant, nothing physical happened. Technically she didn't cheat. I leaned on the doorframe, enjoying the circus. In their minds, no bed equals no affair. Grant isn't me, he doesn't swallow slights. Teeth bared, he punched Hunter in the face. No cheating? When she's scared of thunder you're there. When we fight you're there. You're basically her second husband. Sabrina jumped between them, slapping Grant. How dare you hit him? It's not his fault you can't father a child. Grant's eyes were blood red. So you had to pick him to rub it in my face? I didn't want anonymous sperm. I wanted someone I love. I watched, smirking, she'd finally admitted it. That confession detonated Grant. He swung again, Hunter's head snapping back. A brawl about to erupt, I slipped out the door and left them to it. The private room was a mess of curses and chairs hitting the floor. This time I got lucky, one of my clients actually knew Grant from an old Instagram post featuring the two couples. Without that picture, I would have missed the whole show. The second I walked through my front door, the Riverdale precinct called asking me to come in for a statement. When I arrived, Hunter and his crew were nursing fresh bruises. Hunter's eyes shot flames at me like he wanted to swallow me whole. Quinn, afraid he'd snap and hit me, grabbed him and shot me a warning glare. I gave a thin smile and followed the officer into the interview room. By the time I finished it was 1 a.m. Word was Sabrina had been so startled she was showing signs of miscarriage and had been rushed to the hospital. Hunter and his buddies were slapped with detention. I didn't see Hunter again until a week later, when he texted to meet and handle the paperwork. He drove, but instead of the courthouse he parked outside the villa we used to share. What's this? I asked, confused. His face was stone. If you want a divorce, get on your knees and apologize to Sabrina 6'4" what? I snapped. She brought every bit of this on herself. I yanked the door handle, he hit the child lock. You made her lose the baby and almost wrecked her marriage. A simple apology is too much? His bloodshot eyes bored into me. I laughed. Perfect, now you two can ride off into the sunset. That broke him. He exploded out of the driver's seat, flung my door open, and dragged me out. You're apologizing today, period. He hauled me up the front steps and down the hallway to what used to be our bedroom. Sabrina lay pale against the pillows. The moment she saw me she scrambled up, marched over, and slapped me hard. Bitch! You killed my baby, I'll kill you. She raised her hand again, but Hunter caught her wrist. Sabrina, don't. You're still weak. Let her kneel and say sorry, then we're done. He turned to me. On your knees, apologize, and it's over. I spat. In your dreams. A sharp pain cracked through my kneecap as he forced me down, pinning my shoulders. Since you're here, you play by my rules. Sabrina's lips curled in triumph. She crouched until we were eye level, venom in every word. How twisted are you? Proud of murdering an innocent child? I met her gaze, ice cold, and spoke slowly. Yes. I wanted your baby gone, and you and Hunter gone too. Fine. You die first. Her pupils dilated, a fruit knife flashed, burying itself in my side before I could scream. Hunter shoved her away and caught me as I folded. Serena, breathe, stay with me. I felt no pain, only blackness swallowing me whole. I came to in Riverdale, Hunter slumped in a chair beside the bed, dozing. Spotting him, my mind blanked for a second, then the whole nightmare replayed. I glared, wishing the knife had been in my hand instead. A plastic cup sat on the nightstand, I stretched toward it, stitches burning. The rustle woke him, he jerked upright, relieved. I hurled the cup, it cracked against his forehead, a thin line of blood trickling down. Stunned, he stepped closer, remorse written across his face. Serena, I didn't know she had the knife. I jerked away from his hand, tearing stitches. A hiss escaped me as fresh blood blossomed on the gown. Get out. The shout ripped my wound wider, red seeped through the fabric. Panic flashed in his eyes and he bolted for a nurse. He kept showing up after that, bearing gifts I never touched. When hunger won, I hired a aide and told no one, afraid my parents would worry. I also called my lawyer. The day I filed charges against Sabrina, Hunter slunk into my room begging me to drop them. Serena, she lost her head, don't ruin her life, okay? I laughed in his face. She can find clarity behind bars. She's a girl, she won't survive jail. I'll kneel if that's what it takes. He dropped to the tile, groveling. Satisfaction spiked through me. Kneel, crawl, whatever, she could kneel too and it wouldn't matter. Get lost. Slamming the door behind him, my attorney arrived minutes later. Bottom line, Sabrina was looking at serious prison time. We met again in courtroom 3. She smirked. Derek already hired Riverdale's top litigator, enjoy your loss. I smiled back and glanced at my counsel. He answered her with a flat, we'll see. My lawyer was Adrian, yes, the top litigator in the state. Undefeated. Most people can't even get a meeting. I text him and he's there. He's mom's best friend's son and treats me like a kid sister. Predictably, Sabrina drew 3 years for aggravated assault plus every dollar of my medical bills. When the gavel fell, she collapsed like a puppet with cut strings. After I healed, I filed for divorce. Hunter knew he'd lose in court and finally signed. The day the digital divorce papers landed in my inbox, a boulder rolled off my chest. I breathed, really breathed, for the first time in years. My youth was wasted on Hunter, what's left is mine. To celebrate, I took Adrian to dinner. Sure he'd beg off, but he showed. I rattled on like when we were kids, he listened, silent, adding food to my plate. Afterward he offered a ride, his parents still live next door to mine, our moms arranged that on purpose. At my driveway I invited him in, mom and dad nagged me about him nonstop. Sure, he said without hesitation. We were halfway up the walk when a voice rang out. Serena. I turned. Hunter, hunched and haggard, shuffled toward me. Give me one more shot. This time I chase you. Sabrina's out of my life, blocked, finished. His chin drooped, the swagger I once fed was gone, starved by my silence. Afraid I'd waver, Adrian tugged my sleeve, light, protective. And I gave him a calm smile. Relax. Then I turned to Hunter. Let's be honest, you and Sabrina are two of a kind. Both of you are selfish to the bone. You'd better wait till she's done with her prison sentence, marry her, and lock yourselves together for life. Just don't ruin anyone else. Hunter lifted his eyes ashen, lips trembling like he wanted to speak, but no words came. In them I saw total defeat, as if every last scrap of hope had been scraped out of him. I didn't spare him another second. I grabbed Adrian's hand and headed toward the house. The moment my parents saw Adrian they lit up, bombarding him with questions the way only delighted parents can. Adrian had always been the kid next door that other parents compared their own children to. Mine adored him so much they'd claimed him as a godson. I'd long since claimed his mom as my godmother, and whenever either of us walked into the other's home we were treated like national treasures on tour. During the years I was married, though, Adrian hardly ever came over. A sudden knock sounded. I opened the door to find Adrian's mom. She blinked, startled for half a second, then swept me into a fierce, noisy hug, smacking kisses the way she had when I was 8. When did you get back? Laughing, I tugged her inside. Just a little while ago, and your precious boy's here too. Come, she called, already towing off her shoes. Both kids under one roof, let's all go out tonight and celebrate. My mom spotted her best friend and jumped up, fussing and beaming. Watching the two of them, my throat tightened. For years every ounce of energy had gone to Hunter. I'd stopped living my own life. I'd worn myself sick over Sabrina and his endless drama, hiding every illness from mom and dad so they wouldn't worry. Now, finally, I was free. A week later mom cornered me, eyes sparkling with gossip. Adrian's mom wanted to play matchmaker, between her son and me. I almost shrieked. They'd lost their minds. Adrian was only a year older, but he'd always treated me like a kid sister. Crush on me? Impossible. If this went sideways, how could I ever look him in the eye again? Mom just smiled her mysterious smile and whispered that Adrian himself had brought it up. Shock hit me all over again. What? Years later I did marry Adrian. And eventually he told me the whole story. He'd loved me the entire time, he'd simply been the type to bury things so deep no one could tell. Epilogue: You liked me, why didn't you say? I looped my arms around his neck, pretending to scold, heart dripping honey. He tightened his hold on my waist, eyes liquid with love. I wanted to wait until I could give you the life you deserve. I didn't expect someone else to move into your heart first. By the final word his eyes were red-rimmed. I pulled him down and kissed him, aching for the boy who'd waited. Truthfully, I'd adored this older boy next door since we were kids, but he'd always seemed untouchably cool, so I kept my distance. Every time I got into trouble, though, he showed up like a safety net. Dependable, steady, solid. He aced every class, I lived for recess. Our orbits drifted. Then came Hunter, sunny, easy, charming. We became inseparable. But Hunter's heart already belonged to Sabrina, the gorgeous senior who ruled the dance team. He chased her for 3 years before she finally said yes. The ink on our diplomas was still wet when her parents married her off to a man they'd chosen years earlier. I never knew if Sabrina loved Hunter, she dumped him for a stranger. Yet the moment Hunter decided to walk away, she crooked her finger, and he trotted back like a starving dog, insisting he only felt sorry for her. I swallowed every lie until the insane sperm loan stunt snapped me awake. Thank God it wasn't too late. Hunter's side story. I thought I didn't love Sabrina, until she lay in front of me drenched in blood and I felt my own heart stop. I sprinted to the ER, praying the whole way I could trade my life for hers. I waited through the night until the doctor said she'd make it, then the pain hit, sharp, ant-sized, everywhere. My body had known long before my brain, I love her. And we were still married, I still had a chance. I refused to leave her bedside, rehearsing my apology. Sabrina kept calling to ask if Serena was, her exact word, dead. For the first time I roared at her, then shut my phone off. All I wanted was my wife. I dozed and dreamed Serena told me coldly she was done, she wanted a divorce. I jerked awake to find her eyes open. Before I could speak she flung a water glass at me, screaming for me to get out. Her wound reopened, blood blooming across the sheets. I fled for a nurse, terrified. Sabrina tracked me down in the corridor, her marriage was over, she wailed, her family had forced her to leave me. One last favor, please. I swallowed what little pride I had left and begged Serena to drop the charges. The loathing in her eyes confirmed I'd blown my final shot, so I hired Riverdale's top litigator, hoping to lighten Sabrina's sentence. Serena's attorney turned out to be the best in the state, no one could touch him. Maybe prison was exactly what Sabrina deserved. All I wanted now was my wife's forgiveness. I waited outside her parents' house until midnight, so cold I couldn't feel my feet. She stepped out of someone else's car, laughing, alive. I begged for a restart, ready to tear my heart out and hand it to her. She refused, said Sabrina and I were the same, selfish to the core. She was right. And I had lost her. Thanks for listening. If you liked the story, hit like, share it with friends, and tell us your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.